So we're in Wacken, first of all. Let's start from that kind of side. And I have Björn here.
Hello, everybody.
Hi. And you're doing a cool project, like a film.
Yes.
It has got something to do with music and with guys who are kind of really known, like Iggy Pop, and
Yes.
with silence, and it's all really mysterious.
Yes, it's very
What-
mysterious
what-
and very confusing.
Yeah, I'm totally
very confused myself.
Yeah, okay, because I thought I was the only one, you know. No, so what is the film called, first of all? Let's start like that.
The film's called Gotterdämmerung, and it's not
Gotterdämmerung.
called Gotterdämmerung like you guys would know it from Wagner,
Yeah.
but it has the gutter in it
Yeah.
because a lot of people in the film come straight out of the gutter.
Oh,
And it actually has something to do with Oscar Wilde, who said, "We're all in the gutter, but we're looking
Yeah.
at the stars." And if you see the people in the mud in Wacken, that's
oh yeah,
exactly
that's
what it
pretty
is.
much that. Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think Oscar Wilde in his time would have been at Wacken.
That would be lovely. We do an interview with Oscar Wilde.
Yeah,
Also.
yeah, exactly.
That would be cool. So, and what about your idea or your vision of the film? How did that all start out? You said, yeah, I'm going to do a film. You don't wake up in the morning and say, maybe today I just do a film.
It's a project that got completely out of hand. Like, some people when they turn 40, they buy a motorbike.
Yeah.
And I was doing all this stuff that I liked, but I was sort of stuck. And I invited all these friends that I met going around the world with all these films I was making before. And I made a lot of friends in different places in the US and in Scandinavia and in Germany. And I invited 6 of my best friends on a boat in Sweden.
Oh, cool.
And I told them, like, now I'm going to tell you something impossible that I'm going to try for the next part of my life until I succeed.
Yeah.
And you're all witness that I'm going to do it. And that's how it started. So they all did special stuff, those people. So I told them, like, I can't quit. Otherwise, otherwise I'm a sissy. So I'll have to keep
You
on
don't.
going.
And you succeeded. So finally there's a film.
We're pretty far, yeah, absolutely.
So when will the film be out?
It'll come next festival season. I think that's when you can expect it, probably here
cool.
also.
Yeah.
Where Holger from Wacken is a big fan as well. So
Yeah, that's
he
good.
knows more
So?
than most.
You go
We're
first.
very mysterious,
Yeah,
but Holger understands us for sure.
And it's like is it like an action documentary movie?
It's a fiction
mysterious
story. It's a fiction
tale?
story, and you have to think of old silent films.
Yeah.
So I think in that way we're very well positioned here in Germany. Like in Sweden too, we have a history with Hexan, the whole old black and white silent movie. But I think here in Germany, some of my very big heroes are from here, like Metropolis, the Nosferatu, like a lot of the stuff that I really adore. And you would have to think of that. It's a silent film, but instead of having a classical music score under it, it has a rock and roll score. And it's a very broad
there
rock
you
and
go.
roll. It's rock and roll, metal, punk. It's mostly harder genres, but it has some soft spots as well. So
Yeah, you want to keep the dynamics like in songwriting, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
and there's some
yeah.
very heavy motherfuckers like Let Me Kill Mr. and Slayer in it, but there's
Yeah.
2 female heroes like yourself. So it's a film, I guess, for the strong ladies.
Oh.
It's very Scandinavian. There's a lot
Yeah.
of strong ladies in metal as well, and I think that's also a very important part of the film. So it has 2 sides to it.
And was there ever a point where you said, I can't stop, but I don't have any energy left, and I need something to get some energy back to myself?
I think I got an unbelievable lot of energy each time I got a new character in the film that accepted to do it. Because I thought they were all going to say fuck off and we don't like it. But they all liked it. Like, Lemmy was one of the first that saw it. He just totally adored it. And Grace Jones as well. I've made quite a few shows for Grace Jones before, so we worked together a lot. And she was the first person to see it. So I told her I want to do this crazy thing, and it has you in it, but it also has people like Lemmy in it. And I was very surprised, like, how is she going to handle that? And she thought it was totally cool. She knew a lot of them also. She was like, yeah, I'm totally into this. So it has the duality of a lot of genres, I think. But if you know Grace is pretty rock and roll, really.
Cool. So, before the interview, we were, joking around, and I have a special question I put to everyone in my interviews.
Okay.
And this is, what defines an artist? What is it? Is it somebody else saying this is an artist, this is not an artist? Or is it yourself saying, yeah, I feel like an artist? Or is it the stuff you're doing or how you're doing it? What?
I think it's uncontrollable. Like, I don't know if I feel like an artist. I think it's something uncontrollable. I think everybody can make art. It doesn't matter. It's. I think who said that? I think it was Oscar Wilde as well, who said all art is quite useless.
Yeah.
Which is true, but it is so necessary in the world. I think without it, there's no beauty, no darkness, no evil, no good. Like, there's no way to convey it to people. And I think in our film, for instance, you can see there's a lot of artists at work. There's not only musical artists, but there's a lot of visual artists.
Yeah.
And I think, again, something that comes back in rock and roll and that comes back in art. And I think it's about expression. It's really about your gut. The Gotterdämmerung in Gotterdämmerung is coming from there. You know, Wagner, he understood that.
Yeah.
Wagner was very interested in the visual aspects of music. So he was the first guy to basically really work on his stage concepts and make operas into visual experiences.
Yeah.
And I think in that way we do have something from Wagner, although we're completely different.
Yeah.
That part may be very alike. And I think it's the same. Like, it's just something you can't control.
You have also in the metal genre or rock genre, you have a lot of visuals like film elements or lights and laser shows and going into the crowd and so on. So this is probably also a part of the dramatics.
Yeah. In our film as
music,
well,
right?
our film could be watched with a piano, or it could be watched with a metal band. It could be watched with a punk band. It could be. It's very broad. I think the language is always the same, but the tools are different.
So it's also a very personal experience when you see the film, because it's depending so much on what music there is, and it's never the same experience.
And it'll depend on where you see it and who's playing that day, because a lot of different people will play.
Cool.
So we have a house band, which is sort of the red line, but there'll be a lot of people plugging in.
Cool.
So people may have seen it in Munich in a way, and have seen it in the desert in California, I don't know, with somebody else, or it could be very, very different each time. And it could be with, like you say, have visual aspects. It could be shows where there's a lot of pyrotechnics, but it could be shows where maybe we're just sitting in a theater and it's really dark and it's just a projector. So you can really play with it. And that's the confusing part. Because everybody's like,
no,
yeah, but then what is it? But that's exactly what it is. Yeah, but you're a filmmaker. You understand.
It's something that lives.
It's organic.
Because it's organic. Because a musical show, like all the guys on stage perform, it's never the same. You can still have it scripted and say, okay, we put this joke after this song, but still it's never totally the same.
Absolutely.
And with your changing the music and changing the venue, it's totally organic and living.
Exactly.
So it must be something that people can really relate to, I guess,
and I think they
feel
can
with
interact
it.
with it.
Yeah.
I think when I was young, I was a big fan of the Rocky Horror Show.
Oh, yeah.
I went to see it several times, and it was always, it's very different than what we do. But anyway, it was always different, and the crowd was creative themselves. You know, look at the guys here. I think it's fantastic. Just watch the people. It's like I think in Latin they say homo ludens, you know, the playing man.
Yeah.
I think that's what I love. It's also what I love with places like this. It's just people are just playing around
and having fun.
Yeah.
Being
That's
like
what we
children
did.
again.
Yeah. And the project we did is very similar. Like when you say, did you ever lose energy? I think I just got it. I was talking about Tom Araya, you know. We started to interview Tom, and he started to talk to me. And then in half an interview, he started to talk to me and just ignore the questions and started to say, you have to keep going, man. You have to do this. You're going to get there. And I was only at number 3 with Tom, I think. So I went up to number 12. And it's like, yeah, that's how it went to us. It just happened. We just did it. And I went, after that, I was just, and I had it a lot with the different artists, with everybody involved. Very strange.
For other filmmakers and for people starting out, like not really knowing what they're doing, what would you suggest? Like, get people who know what to do, or just try to go for it?
You have to follow your gut. I think, like in music, you have to follow your own personality and not be afraid to be criticized on it. I think this project may get a lot of critics on it. It may get people who say, "Oh, you can't blend that genre with that. You can't blend Grace Jones with a punk guy, and you can't blend metal with."
And then you come and
but
say,
it's the
"I
single-mindedness of people."
Yeah.
I mean, and I think when you're making something, you have to do what you want. And if your thing is very straight line, maybe a great film. And if it's very eclectic, maybe a great film as well. I think it really depends. One of my big heroes is Fellini. Fellini is again a very different filmmaker, but in a way similar, because I provoke people into situations, and I basically set up scenes. I throw them into it. They don't really know what they're going to.
Oh my God!
And they end up in it, and they become the thing, you know. And that's what I love with Fellini. He wasn't afraid to follow his gut. And I think cinema these days, you look at Hollywood, it's very industrialized. You know? That's why we invented the golden limit. You know, the golden limit is really fuck off to the establishment of film, because it means do what you want to do. Don't do what the others tell you to do.
So it's not about selling stuff, but living it.
Yeah, very much. Yeah, absolutely. And I think industrializing film, I think Hollywood did some great things, but they really actually industrialized European film. Our film is a very European film, although there's a lot of Americans in it. But the core is, you could say, Scandinavian, German. We live in Belgium part of the year. A lot of people in Belgium, France are working in it as well. It's where, I think, if you look at Manuel, you look at the old silent masters, I think they invented film. It wasn't invented in Hollywood.
No, it was in France.
It was an expressionistic way of talking. You know, like there's people in Hollywood, you know, like David Lynch, who are expressionistic. And I think they're very close to what we do also. Because it's more expressionism rather than being a very single-minded, drawn way of the way you have to write your script and the way you have to do things.
And so with the film starting out, historically, when the train arrives, you know, l'arrivée d'un train, the very first, then people were like, whoa, what's happening? There's something coming towards me, seeing a moving picture they never saw before. And today you can still do this. Like, I guess, with a film where you have always different music to it. I think that is also something kind of historic
and the fact that it's confusing because it's not exactly what people know. But
they make people think, right?
I think it'll be very. I think we'll find a lot of following in the middle crowd because, in my opinion, middle crowd is very open artistically.
Yes,
and it doesn't judge very easily. One doesn't judge the other. You know, just do your fucking thing. And I think that's really great. You know, it's good. If you look at the classic rock snobs. It'll be a lot more difficult because they like things to be. They like to sit in the sofa and decide rather than out here where you feel it. Like Iggy Pop was talking about that also as well. Iggy Pop is a. He told me I was crazy. That's the best compliment I ever got.
That's the best thing you can have. That's obviously. So I would really decide on, yes, you are crazy. Probably. And congratulations to that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for the interview.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure.